Hey guys, it's Titan coming at you with another game of hardcore Minecraft. We're gonna look for a trail ruin again. I didn't do a very good job of looking for one earlier, but we're gonna look for one again. I don't know everything about them. I know I can find them in like taigas and stuff. That's where I found them in the past, so that's where we'll go again. You know, you only get like a couple of indicators on the surface. But, you know, we're just gonna mend up the elytra real quick. And get back to it. Can probably just sell stuff to do it. Hey, Super Dean. Good morning. Alright, yeah. You know, the experience you get from dealing with the villagers is something I never think about, but it's pretty important. We're just gonna mend up a little bit of the pickaxe here and then get to going. Also, the sheepfold much diminished. I need to get new sheep colors because I don't actually particularly love the dark blue. It just sort of, you know, happened because I had some cornflower dye on me, probably. Alright. We left the brush in the house? Why would we do that? It doesn't seem like a wise choice. Did I think I just wasn't gonna wake up and do this? Probably. Last night, this morning, 9 hours ago was a long time ago, and the guy I am now is so different than the guy I was then. I can barely recall who I am. Hello, Mr. Pump. At any given moment, where would I have put the brush? It doesn't make sense. Did I get rid of it? I could make another one. I don't... Where would I have put it? It doesn't matter. We'll make another one. What? And we'll just coast out in this direction for a little while. Good old peaceful Minecraft lion. I actually really like that weird little mini Badlands thing there. You know, it could be cooler. It isn't. It could be. We could work on it more someday. As a little miniature thing, though, it was nice. Especially since I never build anything, you know. I can't judge myself too harshly at the start, or might not build anything ever. And that would be bad, you know. You're allowed to build stuff in Minecraft. Some people recommend it. This is a really cool area, too. I may well have made my home here if this is where we had spawned. Oh, look at that. A pillager tower still burning. I wonder what happened there. That's a real surprise. That must have come as quite a shock to the previous inhabitants. Get wrecked. Never should have come here. But since we've only burned down their house in the past, we're gonna come here in the present. You know, it's a lot of them. It's not like a worry, Right, they're all weaklings and cowards. But anyway, that's how to pop like a whole bunch of those dudes at a time. Like I said, they're weaklings and cowards. You don't have to worry about them, you know, like they can't do anything to you. And especially with this this new suit of armor that gives me the knockback protection, pretty good. All right. Well, there's no point in going in. I've obviously been here before, but you say you can't build to save your life. Well, you know, people say that if you just try for a while, it happens. But, you know, like everything else, you know, it's all about building upon what you've learned. But anyway, every time I find these, you just sort of like, you know, you're walking and you notice that they're there. So that's what we're going to hope for. We're just going to run around for a bit. I don't know a better way to do it. And I don't know too many better ways to start a morning than hanging out and listening to some nice Minecraft music and walking around in a forest anyway. Sure, the stakes are low on account of how I have so much stuff, but I mean, it's not like I'm trying to find a trail ruin anywhere. I want one here. Dog! Here, dog, eat a pork chop. Who's a good dog? Oh, another dog. Bunch of dogs. There we go. Found it. And that is how to find a trail ruin. Alright, time to set up shop. So the problem with these things are, right, that... Alright, so here's the suspicious gravel here at the top. With an efficiency 5 shovel, you can, like, go way too fast. With this shovel, I'm probably... You know, I'm probably going to ruin some of it, but... We're just going to go ahead and get to brushing. When you said no, you mean dog. Hey, Jimbo. But yeah, you don't want to go too fast. Cuz you can just hit the individual blocks, but like if you spend even a fraction of a second on a suspicious block with the powerful shovel, it'll just shatter right underneath you. Make a wooden one? You know, why didn't I think of that? You have clearly done more thinking than I have ever. Yes, a wooden one. Brilliant! To get a wooden shovel, we will cut down this tree. So if you were in the stream last night, you would have noticed a wonderful achievement, a very funny one. So yesterday, on Hardcore Day 583, yesterday, meaning the human yesterday, I picked up spruce wood for the first time in this world. I had planted a big tree at home, but I had not cut down any single spruce wood and picked it up. So that's pretty funny stuff, I think. Coarse dirt we make with gravel and dirt. Oh, for spruce log, yeah, exactly. Pretty good stuff. I might have got spruce planks some other way, I guess. But yeah, the first spruce log. Amazing. And we got another suspicious one here. Getting some nice colored glass. But yeah, so a little bit of my background with trail ruins. They were like one of the first big structures I ever found in my survival world. And I did not know that you could brush them at all. But I did excavate an entire one in my survival world. And we get our first orange dye. Really? No. It's just the first time we've picked up orange dye since that came out. I'm like, I've already picked up all the dyes. We're gonna dye the bed orange. Yeah, that'll show them. Also, like, if you have suspicious gravel that it's on top of another block and then it falls with gravity, it will break by the gravity fall, which is not awesome. But I really like these structures. I was super compelled by them. Like, I was fascinated from the moment that I saw that there was like some cool colored blocks, because I was just, you know, just walking around doing my thing. Yes, that's, oh, it'll be a heart pottery shard. That's nice. I think it's all gravel here and no suspicious sand. But, yeah, whenever I found my first trail ruin in my survival world, I was so new to Minecraft that I wouldn't have even noticed that the texture on the gravel was different. I would have just thought, the gravel looks looks different here. And I didn't have Java then, so I wouldn't have been able to hit the F3 screen. I hadn't set up my account for Java then. I was just playing on Bedrock back in that day. I think it might have been in Java. I just wouldn't have thought to do it. Like I said, I was a much newer Minecraft player then. Ages ago, you know, in, you know, July of last year. Back when I didn't know anything. But yeah, I dug out basically like the whole thing, and I'll do it again. I don't care. I did it without good tools too. This was, you know, like I said, back in the day. I'd have dug out the bulk of it with like stone. No, not my shovel. Alright, and this is that gravel, so we wouldn't have to worry about being careful with it. A stone shovel. Maybe that one will be fine. It might be too fast. Should build around the ruin. This shows the first one. Oh, I quite agree. I have a cool little museum in my my survival world, my only world that's not hardcore. But I definitely wanna preserve this one better. Like in that one, when we got to the cobblestone, I like tore all of it up, and you know. I could have done a better job. And we could also, like, you know, repopulate the city, return it to its former terracotta glory, and that could be, you know, better than just saying it belongs in a museum. That's weird. Is that a suspicious block, or is it just generated over a slab? It's just generated over a slab. Or over stairs. Well, if they were inside there, They're broken now. Like, how do we get into there without compromising the dig site? Here we go. Hey, and there's our suspicious reward. And we get blue dye. Perfect. Another pottery shard. I think we've got another heartbreak. Oh, there's a heart one and then there's a heartbreak one. Well, that's nice. You know, some people think love is important, but I think heartbreak is much more important. Misery will always be, ooh, that's colored glass there. I did not notice that. I don't know if I ever noticed one of those blocks in the other one. I might have just broken it and not realized I had done so. Brown stained glass. And more suspiciousness. Looks like it's just gonna be dye. Yeah. And then we hit the glaze, for which the central towers are noted. The glaze terracotta, dude, would I tell you my eyes just lit up whenever I saw it for the first time? Because this is already cool enough. The first terracotta I ever saw in Minecraft was in one of these structures, right? And I was like, oh, that's cool, you know, I love it. And then the yellow glazed terracotta, I got to that and I was like, ooh, now we're talking. This is really living. All right, we're just going to make a dirt chest here. Look, if we're going to be excavating for a while, we'll certainly want our chest to be present. We'll... That... We don't need these things, but we'll hold on to them anyway. Alright. So this is probably my favorite thing to do in Minecraft, which is find structures and then dig around them. It was actually magical. Yeah, you gotta have water chests, because otherwise creepers can blow them up, and then all your valuable dirt gets lost. It's like, I was so engaged with, you know, trying to learn about what was going on. With the setting. And then, like, you know, the further down you get, because you go from being somewhat interested, and then you have, like, all this beautiful yellow glazed terracotta, which, you know, I hadn't seen anything like. And I was like, oh, yeah, we're gonna find, like, the most important thing in the world here. Like, I thought this was gonna be, like, the revelation to end them all, you know? And then I thought that there was gonna be a lot more places like this to find. Which, I mean, there are more trail runs, but... Hey, there we go. Like, well, there we don't go, but we're at another layer where we can maybe find some gravel, so... You see my pickaxe getting low? Oh, it's okay. Thank you for noticing, though. It's still, like, fully, like, 40% or so. But I will keep an eye on it. Thank you. I'd get real bummed if I broke my netherite pickaxe and had to make another one. No, it wouldn't be so bad. I kind of know how to get nether stuff now. You know, you just dive underneath the ocean of lava. What have we here? a sign? A spruce hanging sign. Another pottery shard. This one is the burn shard. Cool. And another sign. This one's made out of oak, making it inferior. A danger pottery shard. Oh, cool. It looked like it was sort of a radiation symbol, but then also sort of like a squiggly octopus symbol. For what is more dangerous than radiation or a squiggly octopus? Depending on your setting. But yeah, so while I was here for the very first time, here meaning a trail ruin, and so fascinated with what I was seeing, I was breaking every single artifact of the culture that I was attempting to study. Because I didn't know that brushes were a thing. A candle? In this economy? I'm not gonna be like, this one's cooler than the one that I excavated is, but it is. The central tower is much more vivid in color. It's also like kinda higher up. I don't know. You know, the high reds, maybe I just haven't been to mine in a while and it's very pretty also, and I'm being overly judgmental. It's hard to say. Yes, Squiggly Octopus Squad. The only thing we have to fear is squiggly octopi. Octopodes. Octopodes? Probably. Never trust anyone who definitely knows the answer to that question. Oh no! And of course the fun with these is you can, you know, be as haphazard as you want. And if you're, like, at a horizontal thing, then you can, you know, use a good shovel once you've visually identified what's going on. The rest of it, we've got a couple too suspicious here, but you only want to go horizontal because if you put any, like, vertical slant to it, you will just churn through a layer. More nice candles. Orange dye, looks like. Yes, instead of SOS, we say squiggly octopus symbol, because that truly is the thing that will let people know that we're really in trouble now. Ah. It's like anytime I see it fall, I'm like, man, I wouldn't even notice if there was something up there. Something meaning suspicious gravel. Speaking of it, here we go. And pink stained glass. You know, it occurs to me that when I see what's coming out of it is bad, we could just break it, you know. That's not very archaeologist of me. We're like, oh, we just found another window from an ancient society. Windows are kind of boring, so we hit it with a rock. You know. It's gonna give us like a wooden pickaxe. Nice, you know, you never know when you'll need one. Too much glass. Yeah, you know, it can't all be pottery shards. I mean, no, that's wrong. It can all be pottery shards. Too much glass. The rain peacefully falls. I'm so glad we found the trail ruin, because this is like my favorite kind of task. And flying is awesome, but you know, I was starting to feel self-conscious about how I wasn't doing it. But we did the right thing. We ran on the forest floor, and before long, we found a bunch of glass that we didn't want, you know. Great success. Yeah! There we go! The thunder roars, and we have got our music disc. Well, like, there's no reason to leave. There is a reason to just lay down and make the thunderstorm go away. Because I don't want, like, a creeper to come down here and mech stuff up. Now you want people to know about the danger fish. Oh, no, It fell down at me. I legitimately was frightened. I didn't know it was... I'm not scared of spiders. I was surprised. The spider heard me talking about the scary octopi, and it was like, hey, did you know it could be octopodes? And then it jumped down at me. And, you know, the rest is history. At least for the spider. The spider didn't make it. Nobody knows what happened. This is the Razor armor trim. So the first one of these we've got here. Probably an armor trim related to these people who raise buildings? Either that or, you know, the dead. Ooh. More trim for the wayfinders. So another new item found. What a marvelous expedition. Here, a red candle, unless it's an apple, a red candle. What if I get silence trim? I'll probably put it in a box somewhere. Oh, there's a ladder there. I'm like, how did I climb? There's a ladder. Ah, that was suspicious gravel above that one that broke. Alright, so where is this? Negative x-axis, or negative z-axis, rather. Just 1500. Alright, good deal. Very easy to find. And it'll be more visible from the air than, you know, ever before due to my efforts. Another heart shard. Hey, we found a crafting table. I was very pumped when I found that. Because it all contributed to, like, my internal lore explanation that, you know, like, we inherited this world, we weren't the first ones here, and so on. And, well, when you find a crafting table in the middle of a cool structure like this, it certainly makes you feel as though it is the case. with, like, at this point, what is supposed to be preserved? The cobblestone, definitely. All the bricks, definitely. But, like, the stone? I don't think so. Yeah, you just go around and then there'll, like, be cobblestone. I guess we could, you know, recreate it the way it should have been. Speaking of bad archaeology. We'll turn it into an amusement park and populate it with villagers. Hey, bro. Need a trim chest? The trim is, like, all thrown in whatever chest I get from, like, killing monsters and stuff. Which also involves, like, gold and, you know, things. But yes, we definitely should have a chest just for trims. I've got a bunch of various ones. We used the coast trim on all of the armor except the helmet, where we did the eye. The eyes of the Tarquin are upon you. Hey, bricks! They had like a blast furnace sort of thing going on in the previous one I found. I've only excavated fully like one. I went to another one in a different hardcore world. I spent a little bit of time there. I think I died. Yeah, I think that was the world where we fell from a great height. I think. It was a long time ago. A wall? A brick wall? That's what people say talking to me is like. You say there's more dead than most of these streams? Well, you know. There are none of them particularly popular. But I don't mind. And then before we know it, we're back at home again. A nice little adventure. The turtle finally hatched. Go to the sea, my friend. Yeah, I know it's been a while. See, isn't the water good? Yeah. Yes, it's a flying me, all right. Anyway, it occurred to me that we could make a little moat out of sweet berries, or we could do like a cactus thing. We could have like some passive defenses, because sometimes zombies get up to the wall whenever we're having a dance party at the end of a stream. But yeah, so I figured we could start on that. We may go and get like a whole bunch more sweet berries the next time we play. It's hard to say. Who among us can know the future? If you can know the future, don't tell anyone about it. I've read a lot of books about where people can tell the future, and if they ever let anybody know, nothing happy can come of it for them. Doug! Who's a good Doug? Digging up pitcher plants. Being a Doug. Baby Moosh and Moosh's Smalls say hello. They're having a good old time. We should go give Hank a pork chop. Now that sheep can feel different. Oh no. It can't live inside of the water. Got it. Or on top of the nether thing. That's okay. Yeah, like we have a bunch of the trim in here, right? It would be better to have its own chest so it's not next to the skulk and stuff. But yeah, we've got a good chunk of various trims. To go alongside, the spider's eyes and whatever goes with that. I don't know why I couldn't think of a different way to get rid of that. Anyway, now it's gone. I could have thrown it on the ground. Already back? Well, hello again! Wait, did I put the sweet berries in this one? Just because that doesn't make sense doesn't mean it didn't happen. I didn't. Because I had some from a previous run around, it doesn't mean they're in the vault. Just because they should be. Here we are. Right where they should be, actually. Shocking. Alright. That'll be, you know, something. Alrighty, back. Because you made the squiggly octopus symbol. Indeed. The sign of danger. Universal. Alright, well. You know, sometimes you have to make the squiggly octopus symbol for its own sake, you know, for the joy of it, and not for the attention of it. But here we go. A great success of a stream. I invite you all now to listen with me, you know, not for the first time on stream, but for the first time from the music disc, Relic by Aaron Cheroff. Oh, it's this one. Yeah, no, this song's sweet. Luke is having a good old time, and so too am I. It was a successful little stream. Vini Vidi Vici and all that. The guests fly, and Garuda looks happily up at us. It's a good time, you know. I love this game. It's good stuff. I'd been kind of bored with it for a bit, but you know, all you gotta do is find a new source of inspiration, and then there's always something else to do. I have so many projects we're in the middle of now. It'll be a while till I don't have anything to do in Minecraft. Whether or not I get bored with it and do something else instead, it certainly won't be for lack of ideas for a while. I've got to dig a really big hole. I need to work on these staircase situation, because we need 3 staircases. Y'all know that. One to go up, one to go down, and one that goes nowhere. Garuda knows so much more than I have ever known. A fountain of wisdom. That's why he's the boss. And I am just the instrument of his will. You know, he wanted to listen to this song, and he wasn't wrong. It's a good one. But certainly we'll be going back out to that trail ruin every now and then. Maybe not like what we're doing, because we're in the middle of all these other projects too, right? But certainly I don't want to just like leave it undone. Exactly, one that goes nowhere just for show. There's an excellent song from the musical Fiddler on the Roof called If I Were a Rich Man. And in that song, Tevye, the main character, says, you know, I'd build one... He's talking about all the stuff he would do if he was rich, and the line is, I'd build one big staircase just going up, and another even longer going down, and one more that went nowhere, just for show. And it's a funny, silly song. He talks about, you know, like, how his wife would boss the hired help around, and how he'd get a bunch of, like, chickens and geese that would make noise and annoy everybody in town so that they would know that a wealthy man lived there. It's a great track, but anyway. But that's why we need 3 staircases. And why the one that goes nowhere is more important than the one that goes up or down, honestly. But the sun rises. The day is 590. Man, we're really closing on day 600. I've been doing a brisk clip at it. What do we do for the day 600 special? Look at everything, talk to the guests? I mean, probably. I mean, hey, it's a bunch of stuff that we've done. Our Sweetberry moat is growing up, you know, we can do that. We might, you know, enhance our passive defenses even more, you know, with time. I haven't decided, but we might get like a very defensible position built here. It's hard to say. But anyway, that's all I've got for you today. Or for right now. I've got to go and get on with my obligations. But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Super Dean, thanks for hanging out. Hope you've enjoyed. And perhaps I'll see you in another stream or video.